A partial win for freedom of religion at the Supreme Court. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.media. Well, the Supreme Court finally ruled on the case of Loyola High School out of Montreal, a Jesuit school, versus the aggressively secular Quebec government and their plan to bring an ethics and religion cultural program into the school system. Now, the program was designed to say that all religions must be taught as equally valid, as equally true, and they must be taught in a neutral way. Well, being a Catholic school, Loyola challenged this specifically on whether they could teach Catholicism from a Catholic point of view. Today, as lawyer Mark Phillips explains, they won.
All 7 judges concluded that to oblige a Catholic school to set aside its Catholic position and identity in the teaching of its own religion, Catholicism, and in the teaching of Catholic morals was in fact a violation, and it could not be justified as a reasonable limitation of that right.
Paul Donovan was the principal of Loyola when all of this started back in 2008, and he says this is a good day for the school.
The Ethics and Religious Culture program was conceived as a way to teach students to recognize the value of others and the pursuit of the common good. These are laudable goals that we share and wish to inculcate in our students. However, we do not believe that the religious values in the context of our school need to be suppressed in order to accomplish this. Far from undermining the achievement of those goals, the religious and philosophical underpinnings of our school enhance and complete them.
Now, the happiest looking man I saw was Dr. John Zucchi. He challenged this. He was the parent that actually started the court case because he wanted to send his kid to a particular type of school, a particular type of Catholic school. And he says that this ruling shows you can't shut other people up in the name of diversity.
I'm happy also because it shows that you can't shut down one voice if you're going to proclaim a society that upholds diversity and pluralism, that all voices need to be heard.
All right, so that's the good side. The court saying in a majority decision, a 7-0 majority decision, they all agree on this. The decision's actually split 4-3, but they all agree on this aspect, that a Catholic school can teach Catholicism. I can't believe it had to go to court to decide that. They also agree, without putting it down in plain language, they all agree that a corporate body, like a school that has been formed by parents for a religious instruction, that it can have its freedom of religion infringed. Some people had said no, only individuals could. That parents gathering together in a body to form a religious school had no freedom of religion, and they could have that infringed by the state. Only individuals. Now, the court kind of danced around that. They didn't formally pronounce on it, but in essence, this decision does grant that. But where's the downside? The downside is that when it comes to how Loyola must teach other faiths, other ethical belief systems, they're now told that they have to do that through a neutral position and not through a Catholic lens. Writing for the majority, Justice Rosalie Abella said this: the alternative program that Loyola submitted to the minister would teach other ethical frameworks primarily through the lens of Catholic ethics and morality. Even if Loyola's teachers do so respectfully, this fundamentally transforms the ethics component of the ERC program from a study of different ethical approaches into a class on Catholicism. The resulting risk is that other religions would necessarily be seen as not as differently legitimate belief systems, but as worthy of respect only to the extent that they are aligned with the tenets of Catholicism. Now, that's the majority opinion, the 4 and the 4-3. The 3 dissenting justices included Chief Justice Beverly McLaughlin, Justice Moldaver, and Justice Rothstein. And they, at paragraph 156, say this is putting teachers in the position of having to essentially play along with the farce. Requiring Loyola's teachers to maintain a neutral posture on ethical questions poses serious practical difficulties and represents a significant infringement on how Loyola transmits an understanding of the Catholic faith. It is inevitable that ethical standards that do not comport with Catholic beliefs will be raised for discussion. Faced with a position that is fundamentally at odds with the Catholic faith, Loyola's teachers would be coerced into adopting a false and facile posture of neutrality. So like I said, this is all in all a good day. It affirms religious freedom. It reaffirms that institutional bodies can have religious freedom and that freedom can be infringed. But it's a bad day on that last point, the idea that the state can now be involved in telling a private religious school how it must view, treat, and teach other faiths. And I don't think that type of state intrusion is a good thing.